hate anime, or you think you hate anime, Akira is that one that you should see anyway. It's good enough that you're like, okay.
Tetsuo, that's what he was saying.
Tetsuo, yeah.
Tetsuo! Kaneda! Tetsuo!
And it really is that good, and it's funny, like, after all these years, even though it's been copied a billion times by a billion different things, both American and Japanese, it still artistically holds up, and hell, it's got one of the best scores, like orchestral scores.
Oh, it's
of
beautiful
any
in
movie ever.
every way, but I'll give 50 points to the first person who can explain the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
You realize, of course, that that's not really the ending.
Right,
either.
right. Now, I've read the graphic novels.
Yeah,
that's true.
The graphic novels go on, and the thing is, I think the way they chose to end it the way they did because it has that sort of feeling of like, oh my God, what could possibly happen next? That the type of open-ended that's not. I mean, it is a cliffhanger, but it's more of that sort of like. It's like you suddenly see God, and you're like, well, what are you going to do now? Yeah. But they're going to make this into a live-action American film, which, of course, I don't have a problem with them doing a live-action adaptation, and I'll tell you why. I'm getting tired of getting emotionally upset by, hearing about all these remakes and versions of stuff that I love. Who gives a shit,
That's a good attitude.
Try it now and do it over again in 15 years, and we'll
Yeah.
forgive you.
The original's still going to be there. It's still going to be great. It's going to be, in fact, the odds are that them putting out a live-action release means you're going to get a Blu-ray of the original anime coming out.
That's true.
So, be happy. That's great. You might get some cool new action figures or something.
Figures, I was about to say.
Yeah, something neat. Who's the hottest guy? Who is it? Who is the
That's
hottest
a sixth
guy?
question.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, give us your top 3 to 5.
Because everyone knows mine, girl, Scarlett Johansson, obviously. Despite the Ryan Reynolds thing, he can.
And the
go-
record? You can forgive the record?
The record's not that bad.
The
It
record?
really isn't. It's not
Okay.
that bad.
But it was not her. It was all the
It's just it's so produced on. Yeah, but so have you
her record.
listened to pop music?
Yeah, you got a good point there.
Come on.
That's true.
People keep saying that, but it's like, really, find me a major pop single these days that's not overproduced to hell.
Who's the number 2? Scarlett Johansson.
I don't know. Maybe Kate Beckinsale. I don't know.
Allison Hannigan you were talking about?
Yeah, but only as Evil Willow.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're talking
Oh,
to you.
to me.
Yes, about
okay,
your
number
top.
1, hands down, Christian Bale.
Really?
Okay.
And any
See, you
particular-
always said you don't like those kind of guys.
But he's got interesting teeth.
He does. They're almost like vampire teeth.
Yeah,
Like,
interesting
which makes him
teeth.
perfect for Batman.
Yes. And he did the whole The Machinist thing,
Yeah.
and that's very sexy. You're devoted to your art, and you dropped 65 pounds. And
Almost Die.
yeah, it was an excellent movie.
Yeah.
And so that kind of gets him some flutter points.
It's one of the great movies that nobody saw.
Oh, so good.
It was good.
Oh, that
I
movie
actually
was
didn't like
great.
it very much.
Really?
I wanted to really bad because I love Christian Bale. He's one of my favorite actors working, but I was like, I really admire him for what he did, and he does a great performance, but I just thought the movie itself was kind of,
Oh, I liked it quite a bit, but I was like, it's pretty extreme for such a small movie.
I was more of an Equilibrium guy myself.
Oh, I loved Equilibrium. But just because you like Equilibrium doesn't mean you can't like his other movies.
Yes, it does.
Oh, shut up.
I hate every other movie. by
Really,
him.
even the Batman.
Forever and ever. That's it. It's only Equilibrium. No, of course I'm not serious.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Christian Bale is number 1.
Ooh.
Who's
Well, we've
number
already
2?
done the,
Robert Downey Jr.
well, now.
Robert Downey, that
Okay.
post-drunk Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, post-rehab.
Yeah, but there's that always that chance if things go badly for him, he'll slip
I
back.
know.
And you'll be there to
Off
help
the
clean him up,
wagon, yeah.
to hold his hair back when
Like a
he
hobby.
pukes.
And now that is the
Tiny.
hottest quality of a woman there is.
Yeah.
Somebody to hold your long hair out of the way while you
Out
puke.
of your hair, bring you a moist towelette.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, I love those
After the
moist
puking.
towelettes.
Right.
Some wet ones.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
Yeah, when you're giving blowjobs for crack behind a stop and rob, you'll be the one that goes there and talks him back into the car. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Get that. You don't need that $20.
Wait,
Look.
who's giving blowjobs?
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh.
In this scenario.
See,
Or whoever the guy she's with.
it's like I have my erection is going up and down like
Yeah,
a piston
I don't
here.
need that much of a project. Okay.
Well, that's hot. Oh no, wait, that's not hot.
Okay, all right. So, who else?
Well, as like borderline pedophilic as it may be, the Shia LaBeouf in the indie trailer was looking kind of meow.
Really, with his, like, peach fuzz Wesley Crusher look?
Hey, man.
Tell me about the West. I had 3 posters in my bedroom growing up. And
They didn't make 3 posters of Wesley Crusher. You must have screen capped that shit.
She drew one of them.
She took pictures of her television.
Put it on the bedroom wall.
The lock of his hair.
Poor bastard. I don't even know if he had an action figure.
Yeah.
Come on.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, I had one.
Okay.
So you're worse than me.
Well, I had action figures of the entire Star Trek
I
crew.
was a Trek fan too, but even I had my limits.
Well, the thing was, dude, they rooked me in because they started out with really cool ships. Like, you were able to get, like, the new Enterprise and the classic Enterprise, and they all had, the exact sounds.
Yeah.
Like that photon torpedo sound.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't pass that up.
No.
And then from there, it was like, once they came out with the shuttlecraft that you could actually put a guy in, well, I had to buy Scotty to put him in there. And once I got Scotty, you don't want Scotty by himself. You want the whole crew.
So you think that it's a gateway drug to Wesley
It
Crusher.
is. I mean, they had me by the teriyakis. I had the whole classic Trek and Next Generation, and I was starting to buy Deep Space Nine, and that's when I went, wait, I don't even like this show. What the hell am I doing?
Yeah. I didn't even know that you were at any point a Trek fan. I had no idea.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of classic Trek.
See, I love classic Trek, but I slowly grew to like Next Generation outside of Wesley. Sorry, Allison.
It's okay.
Better. That being said, I love Will Wheaton. I think he's one of the greatest geeks alive. I doff my hat to the man. He is a gentleman and a scholar, and I mean that both of those very seriously. Yes. I love Will Wheaton. I just was not a big fan of his character.
I give him props for being the voice of Aqualad on the Teen Titans.
I didn't even know
he
did that.
Oh my god!
See, now I'm just dropping knowledge left and right.
I have a new reason to watch that show now. Put the posters back on my bedroom wall.
Except you just draw a little green underwear on him. And
Underwear?
So okay. That's the piston going back down.
So Shia LaBeouf and Will Wheaton.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I couldn't have said that and walked out of here a free woman. But
oh, I don't know. You look in the schools today, that kind of thing seems to be happening left and right.
Yeah, he's looking a little too dreamy to be.
Well, Homer Simpson explained it on last Sunday, where he said, yeah, it's Shia LaBeouf. He's not quite a nerd. He's not quite a hunk.
You know, say what you will about Keanu Reeves. He's not a great actor by any stretch of the imagination, but he's also not the worst actor in the world either.
He's not the worst.
A large part of it is he's got that whole pretty boy thing going on. He always has. And the way his voice sounds, he's got that weird surfer California voice thing.
I call it wooden, but if you want to say surfer California, that's fine.
I mean, I'm not going to make the argument he's a great actor. I'm not. I would never do that. But he's certainly not in game.
No, I mean, he used to be the poster child for bad actors.
Yeah, it was almost like a running joke that got out of hand.
Yeah. But the thing about Keanu is he stuck in so long that he had to get better.
Yeah.
Just by osmosis, if nothing else.
Well, they kept casting him with so many great.
Well, I marked him getting better in The Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, well, that was the movie. Yes.
And it did have Charlize Theron very naked.
Well, just one of my favorite movies. But you also had Al Pacino, who I'm sure at some point took him in the back and just said, "Hooah! Yeah, look, you goddamn piece of wood. I'm not waking up at 4:30 in the goddamn morning just for you to come out here and read these lines like you're reading a cereal box. Now get your shit together."
You know who I am? I'm the devil, goddammit! Why don't you act like you're fucking scared, you piece of shit?
And by the last, quarter of the movie, he has to emote and he does it. You're like, damn, dude, never saw him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're totally scary.
Wow, so you're like the devil. Can you, score some good pot?
Awesome.
Wild stallions!
We're not doing that here.
What?
No Wild Stallions here, sorry.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, not generally speaking in law firms.
Yeah. Awesome. Cut!
Oh,
Mr. Reeves, I'm going to have to ask you to please stop saying awesome after every line.
Whoa.
if I could give any advice to anybody out there, you break up with your girlfriend, don't leave her voicemails
Do not.
because she will play them for all her friends, and
And
all her
people
friends
on
will
the
laugh
street.
at how pathetic you
Yes.
are.
Yeah, she might start a website or something.
I mean, I'm saying this to you now so that you don't end up in the same place as Uma Thurman's stalker.
Just don't ever. Okay, if you want to do something stupid and pathetic, just do it when you're drunk, out far away from any sort of recording device.
Yes. And don't say to somebody like, well, you haven't returned my messages.
Yeah,
That's
because
bad.
that's just asking for trouble.
If you hear yourself saying that, you
You're
should go like,
an idiot.
oh, wow, yeah, they aren't returning my messages.
You know what
Ever.
she needs. Well, never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on before after a certain point of whiskey, I'm just shameless. I become Corey.
Okay.
Except I don't end up getting laid at the end.
That's true. That's when the restraining orders tend to come out.
That's really the primary difference between me and Corey. Is we both get drunk, we both hit on whoever with a vagina is closest. The only difference is that he actually goes and gets to have sex with them.
Yeah, yours always ends up with sirens and cops.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah, but someday I'll write a great book.
Okay.
You had told me, Allison, that you were a big fan of Terry Pratchett, and so am I.
Yes.
The whole
Yes.
Discworld series is
Yes.
just phenomenal.
Yes.
So much. I mean, Leon, have you ever read any of this stuff?
Who does he write with?
Well, he wrote a book with Neil Gaiman.
Just the
Yes.
one?
As far as I know, just the one, Good Omens, which
Yes.
was sort of which described perfectly on the back cover as Monty Python if they wrote The
Totally.
Omen.
I
Totally.
think that I like Terry Pratchett's contemporaries,
Okay.
and
yeah,
yet
yeah.
there was only one Terry Pratchett book I started to read and didn't get into it.
What's that?
One with the society on a giant turtle's back or something.
Well,
That's
that's the whole
all of them.
Discworld. Yeah.
Oh well.
It's a gigantic fantasy series that started, there's like 3 books first with the same characters, right?
Yes.
And then it just sort of branches out to follow the stories of all these other minor characters.
So you can pick up anywhere. You don't need to read them in any kind of order.
Yeah, there is no real order, If there's something that happens like 18 books down the line that refers to something earlier, they will explain it.
Yeah, it's nice.
But it's funny. I like Terry Pratchett. I really do. I like what he's done. I've always admired what he's done. In fact, I got into him because of the Discworld video games, the PC games that came out,
wow,
that
yeah.
were like the old point-and-click games,
Yes.
like Broken Sword and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And they were a lot of fun. I was like, these are funny. They remind me kind of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type of
Totally,
humor,
which-
except related to fantasy instead of
Yes.
science fiction.
Right.
I'm still shocked especially with this huge push towards fantasy in Hollywood, that nobody's talking
Yeah.
about doing a Terry Pratchett movie.
Well, he does have Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, but I don't think that, like, his earlier work goes back and forgets itself.
Yeah, but
No,
maybe,
no, no,
maybe they
but-
come and talk to him and say, like, we'd like to make
Yeah.
a movie
Oh.
of this. Yeah, that'd be great. Except it sucked, and I don't want you to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, when are you going to make that movie of my book?
Yeah.
Broccoli!
And they slowly back away.
Yeah.
You
Wait till he's.
is one of those things that I'm really shocked with. Lord of the Rings, Narnia, Spiderwick Chronicles, all this fantasy that, as near as I can tell, nobody's talking about optioning it, and it seems like a no-brainer. I would think it'd make a better TV series, personally, than anything
Yes.
else. But because it's one of those ones you can just go on and on and on. There's
Yes.
nobody going, hey, that's not canon, because it's, it's endless.
Well, you know what? These fantasy movies are expensive, and not all of them do well.
Yeah.
Golden Compass kind of died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
And-
unfortunate, because it had a real beautiful sense of style to it. and-
It's something you watch it, and it really begs for a second movie.
yeah.
Yes.
And it's probably not going to get it.
Plus-
Spiderwick Chronicles, very good.
You saw that.
I did, but
Okay.
I saw it at the Dollar Theater because it came and went so
So
fast.
Carlisle was actually right about that.
He was right.
Holy shit.
It was good, but she does tap dancing also.
Tap dancing.
Yes, tap dancing. One semester in college.
Okay, I'm going to admit something very embarrassing right now.
You're tap dancing.
To all of you, I tap danced for 7 years.
Awesome.
I did ballet.
Tap dancing.
I did ballet.
You
for
were
a year.
you were Butters on South Park.
I know. I was.
Yeah.
I did jazz for 2 years, ballet for a year, modern for 2 years, tap for 7.
Awesome.
I was Fritz in the Nutcracker
Oh, really?
Awesome.
in front of a packed house for 3 nights in a row. Of course, that was hell. It might as well have been like 100 years ago.
Clogging lessons. I'm signing you up. We're
Clo-
taking clogging
We're gonna
lessons
clog together. I feel pretty clogged right now.
Okay, now I've blogged about this. I've talked to you about it endlessly. When are you going to read Sharp Teeth?
Oh, the wool. But you haven't given it to me.
Oh, it's hers. I was borrowing it from
okay.
her.
I'm
Buy
sorry.
it.
Okay, I will.
Sharp teeth.
It's tell us about it.
So bookstore dude was like, read Sharp Teeth. Everybody's talking about it. Okay. And I don't normally like the books that everybody's talking about because...
Sure.
That would be uncool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be uncool, and then I couldn't go to my cool parties.
Plus,
and...
when you read the books everybody talks about, you end up reading...
Dean Koontz.
Yes.
Oh, I was actually going to say... God damn, we were talking about this the other day.
Oh, God.
Oh, see, I've blown the joke by not being able to follow through so quick.
Oh, man. Well, I can edit. You can say it again.
No, wait. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Huh.
Whenever you read the cool books that everybody's talking about,
It's always that chick.
you end up reading...
Patricia Cornwell.
Like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh, I
My
wouldn't
mother
know.
reads
What's
that.
the point?
Why do I want to read
Or
that?
who's the guy who does all the medical thrillers?
Oh, God. Yes, Michael...
No, it's not Michael Crichton.
but-
Michael Crichton's okay for what he does. He's the Stephen King
Yes,
of highly
yes.
improbable
Let me start
science.
over.
Yes.
Okay. When you read the problem is when you read the books that everybody's talking about, and you think you're going to read something good, what you end up reading is the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
It's like, oh, wow, this is the book everybody was talking about?
Yeah, I read that.
Kind of dumb.
I read that when it was called Holy Blood, Holy Grail in, like, the 70s. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was a poor remake of the book he did right before that, Angels and Demons.
Which I actually enjoyed that book.
Sure, I did too.
Angels and Demons is a fun little novel, and then you
You read the Da Vinci Code, it's like, dude, you just ripped off yourself.
Well,
like 17 times.
This thing, he took he ripped off himself from that, but like I said, it's note for note this, quote, nonfiction book, end
Yeah.
quote, called Holy Blood, Holy Grail from the 70s.
Are those the guys that sued him?
Probably. I haven't never
Because
followed
it was
up
a
on
huge
that, but
court case.
It's just mark by mark, note by note through the whole book, every single thing that happens in Holy Blood, Holy Grail, just set in a fictional setting as opposed to the like I said, quotes, non-fiction. And we're going to get so many people going, well, you guys sucked. Da Vinci Code was awesome. The movie sucked, but the book was great.
Whatever.
You're going to get a lot of people who are going to say, well, come on, it is one of the most popular books of the last decade. And that doesn't mean it's good. Lots of stuff is really popular that's absolute crap.
That's my point.
Your Honor, I present Britney Spears.
Right.
That's my point.
Well, I think the biggest problem with the movie was that it was too accurate. It was too faithful to the book.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I never actually saw the movie.
Oh,
Tom Hanks' haircut alone terrified me.
Come on, you're not going to be one of those. I actually stumbled into it because I had a high fever and I just wanted like a cool, dark place to go and get well.
But Sharp Teeth by Toby Barlow.
Yes,
Yes. Oh my God, did we get
On
that
the
far
other
away from that?
hand,
we did.
was phenomenal.
Toby Barlow.
I believe.
And it's his first
Toby
book.
Barlow. Yes.
So there is nothing else by him after
Right,
that?
Yeah, I think
right. It
this
was
is
his
his
first book. He was a guy. What was he?
Freshman effort. He's an advertising agent.
Yeah. He
Like
worked in
that?
advertising and wrote this book, and it's basically about different L.A. factions. Some of them, a lot of them are lawyers, but they're also now it describes them as werewolves, but they're actually were-dogs.
Yeah.
Huh.
And you think, oh, with dogs, it's like no, dogs are actually more scary. Because a wolf you're never going to let in your house.
Yeah.
Dogs are your pets, and they
Sure.
live under you all the time.
Like Cujo or Pet
Yeah.
Cemetery.
Any dog you have could, like, when you're not around, revert back to a human and go out and do other stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
in your car.
And yet, they will tear you apart just as easily as a wolf does.
That's true. A dog can fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was a little tiny boxer down the street from me, and it was so cute, little boxer with a little smushed in face. It was so cute. So I reached down to pet it, and it wasn't doing anything. It was just kind of looking at me, and then it jumped up in the air and it attached itself to my face
They
with
will
its
do that.
mouth.
Yeah.
And I was like shaking my head around. There's this little like foot-long boxer going. To this day, anything with a smushed in face, just forget about it.
Scary.
Well, I'm sure his face got smushed in because he did that to somebody else.
Yeah, well, it was a boxer. I think it's genetic.
But I keep raving about this book because Allison was reading it. It's got a great looking cover.
it's
yeah.
beautiful.
And she talked it up and it's like, yeah, I'll let you borrow it. And I'm like, okay. And a lot of times people let me borrow books. They turn out to be dogs.
yeah.
No pun
Yeah,
intended.
no pun intended, I was going to say.
But by page 6, I was so into this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just loving every bit of it.
Well,
and
can
just
you-
philosophies of life. And man, what an ending. Like, to when it was done,
Oh.
I had like a tear in my eye and I just clapped.
I'm going to have to check that out.
You
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Yeah.
You'll read it quickly
Yes.
and you'll love it the whole time.
Okay, all right.
It's
Fair
a
enough.
quick read. It's really beautiful and lyrical and, yeah, it flows.
Yeah, no, when
It's like a beautiful piece of pop music where at first you're like, oh, this is poppy, and you're like, wow, this is really well written.
It's like Radiohead.
Good.
Okay.
Radiohead's a good example. It starts off like, it's more pop music, whatever, and then you're like, oh, that was kind of cool. And then you go back and listen to it again and go, oh, maybe there's a little more depth here than I actually thought there was.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I will definitely check that out. So, once again, Sharp Teeth by
Toby Barlow.
Toby Barlow. Okay, cool. So what do we got next? That's all I have on my list other than modding stuff.
Modding stuff?
Yeah, well, Allison told me that she likes to take toasters and turn them into timers or something. Tea timers, which I don't actually know what that is because I don't drink tea and I hate time. No, I have no problem with time. But I'm not really sure what you need the time tea for. Didn't the pot whistle or something?
No. If you brew tea, there are certain lengths of time that you have to keep in mind. Like if you overbrew a green tea, it'll get bitter. I like tea also. And if you overbrew your green tea, it'll kind of taste bitter. Or you overbrew this kind of tea, it'll taste kind of manky.
Oh.
So you take a regular old toaster oven you get from the Salvation Army and you pop the top and you turn it into a tea timer. And there's a great magazine by O'Reilly Media called Make that tells you how to make stuff like that. Make sweaters, make casseroles, make a cart for your dog to haul.
Make a car for your dog to haul? Oh.
Carts.
I feel like this just turned into an NPR show.
No, because then we'd be all talking like
Oh, that's true. Well, more of a PBS.
Yes, so tell us about this. And we're going to be talking about this over the music of Alsatian throat singers. What they actually do is they hold on to their testicles and they pull them down.
And singing 3 octaves at once.
Yes, it's fascinating.
You can download our podcast.
It's fascinating. I'm going to sleep myself. Can you imagine us doing this like that about geek stuff, though? So what's really interesting is the way that Crank chooses to have sex in public. I think when Amy Smart's boobs are kind of shaking back and forth.
Chinese tourists, they're taking pictures. They'll take those back to China, have them developed.
They will. That'll be nice.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
That'll be very nice.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I think I'm kind of spent for right now.
Are you spent, Allison?
I'm drunk.
Well, there's the mating call of any girl that Cyrus has ever had a chance to spend more than 5 minutes talking to. Not that he's actually ever closed the deal, mind you.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I always find a way to fuck it up, usually with something like, so, you like Brian Michael Bendis? And even though Brian Michael Bendis has written Spider-Man, that does not count as a Spider-Man.
It does not count as that.
It does not count.
I have nothing to say about Spider-Man.
Okay, seriously, what is up with Norman Osborn's hair and the Osborn's hair? No, I'm sorry. We'll talk about that next
clearly
week.
they're part Puerto Rican.
Are those cornrows? What are they? Do they dye them red in lines? I'm just wondering. Anyway, that appears to be a good going out point for us.
Yes.
Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in to LEOG, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Would love to thank the lovely Allison for showing up. And,
yes, thank you so much.
It was very much fun.
I don't know if we'll get a cartoon of Allison up, but I would say to imagine Allison as Veronica from Archie Comics.
Hey, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that perfect?
Yeah, no, actually, that really nails it. It's like cross between Veronica and maybe a young Janine Garofalo.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's sweet, because smart and attractive.
Well, just a tiny bit of Jennifer Garner thrown in.
Yeah, okay. Especially like now she's all talking about like I'm working out, I'm getting I'm gonna be kick ass.
I do yoga 48 hours a day and take 4 seconds.
You never see a yoga martial arts film.
Everybody just pieces out, sits on the floor, battles with their cheese.
That would be the NPR action film. So yeah, that really kicked, buttocks.
I sat in lotus position for 4 weeks.
If there was to be a yoga martial arts film, it would be Owen Wilson and starring in it.
Yes, it would be. But let's not give them any ideas.
No, let's cut this off right now.
Anyway, thanks, folks. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
When Cap